What's your name, man?
Mihir, nice to meet you.
I don't know if you're aware, but November is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes.
And 4 out of 5 Canadians that commit suicide are actually males. And also, men are twice as likely to commit suicide than women. Why do you think that is?
Biggest question
Ever.
Yeah.
Why are there no taxi ranks about here?
I'm having a conversation, sir. If you want to have a conversation, you can wait your turn, and then once I'm done having this one, you can have a seat.
Yeah, well, if we try for him, you taxi ranks.
Thanks, brother.
This is a crazy spot, honestly. You're ballsy.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
That's kind of far away. This man took it seriously, 6 feet apart. What's your name, man?
My name is AJ.
I find it interesting that you said that men have more problems to deal with. What are some of the problems that men have to deal with?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Just it's a man. You hear things like a man is you hear things like a man is right. It's a man. You hear people saying it's a man, right?
Yeah, like you gotta man up. What's your name?
Ava.
I don't know how to tell someone that is pretty, that they look pretty and they don't feel pretty. And I also don't know how to tell somebody that is strong.
Hello, yo. It's a good thing.
Thanks, man. Have a good one. What's your name?
Philip.
What do you know about men's mental health?
Honestly, I don't know anything.
Did you know that November is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month?
I only know one thing from November.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Makrei Kativu. I suffer from mental health.
What are some of the things that you suffer from?
Schizophrenic, schizoaffective.
What's your name?
Sing.
Sing.
I mean, if you take for me in perspective, I don't call the big shots at home. The big shots for me is buying the refrigerators, buying the TVs, buying the PlayStations. The small things, I leave it for the women. Which party do I vote for? Where do we buy the new house? The small things are taken by the women. So
I like how the big decision is buying a PlayStation, but a small decision is where do we live?
that's how it is. That's how it is. I mean,
the woman can choose the nest, but the PlayStation?
That's us.
That's mine.
Us. I mean, I gotta have Marcus Rashford in my team. That's how it is.
What's your name?
Gord.
If we're just sitting next to each other on the subway and I'm like, hey man, did you know that 4 to 5 Canadians that commit suicide are men? You'd be like, who the f*** are you?
Yeah.
You would look at me and be like, who is this person? Why the f*** are you talking to me? Rolling. Rolling, 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 rolling. I'm rolling, 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 rolling. I'm rolling, 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 rolling. So we had to move spots because our tree over there lost power. It's kind of sad. It makes me sad. I don't like change very much, and I think that's because I'm a man. We're going to be talking about men today, and more specifically, men's mental health, because it's November, which is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I have come to the streets of Toronto to ask men about why we're feeling weak and what's going on in the world that is causing 4 out of 5 Canadians that commit suicide are men. I want to figure out what it is about men that causes us to be twice as more likely to commit suicide, and why we don't talk about our feelings. Why is that? I'm asking you. Why the f don't you talk about your feelings? Is it because it makes you feel weak? Because society makes you think that if you talk about the way that you feel, that's not okay? I want you guys to know that I'm here for you. All of you guys, all you men. We're here for we need to be here for each other. We need to be brothers, we need to band together. Or we're f***ed.
Can I be on a podcast?
Would one of you guys like to be on my podcast?
What's it about?
Men's mental health.
Men's mental health. I got nothing for anybody. Sorry.
No?
No.
This is why we have a problem.
I think it's sort of an image that a man is sort of expected to have in the society. Like you're the one who's kind of who needs to be stronger. You need to maintain an image where you're the one who is accountable for everything, of raising a family, of being the one who should be in charge, which is obviously a very stupid and a very traditional way of thinking.
Do you think that if you were depressed, you would know it?
If I was depressed, would I know it?
Yeah.
Would I know if I was depressed?
Are you depressed right now?
You would know if you're depressed when you would feel like the emotional, like the energy, like the depressing energies. Like you'd feel depressed, so you'd be depressed.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of it has to do with the systems that men put in place for themselves. Like, you know, a lot of men preach about a lot of things that are pretty toxic and like toxic masculinity and that stuff, where they feel like men aren't able to express themselves the way they want to, or they have to act a certain way to be a man.
What does your day-to-day life look like? Is it tough?
Yes, of course, it's always a challenge.
Is it easy for you to differentiate what voices are real and which ones aren't?
Yes.
When you talk about the stuff that you're dealing with, do you feel heard by the people that help you?
Some of them I feel like they are incompetent in terms of being proactive in helping.
I'll tell you something. Men are more likely to commit suicide all across the entire world. Men are more likely to counter a heart attack all across the world. It's not just Canada. It's all across the world, buddy.
And why do you think that is?
That's because we earn more. It's that simple.
Because the world, society is like making us mask our emotions and like keep it to ourselves and not express it. So like most girls, like they be saying, oh, don't, like you can't cry, you're a man or whatever.
It was because men don't feel comfortable talking about their mental health challenges. I would think that they feel there's some stigma attached to admitting that vulnerability, that there's a weakness in asking for help. I'm not sure that that's a fair comparison to women. I'm not sure that women are that much more open to it, but certainly having a lot of men friends, I would think that they would struggle with that.
Why do you think that we struggle as men against those expectations? Like, is there another way that we're supposed to act in your mind?
Definitely be acting the way you internally feel, without any expectations out of you. And if because it's always not easy to open up to people, being a man, about your emotions, and like I previously said, like just being really emotional, and people would judge you for not being as manly, and a lot of other factors at the same time.
What's this notebook you have here?
This right here, this is like I'm writing a book is what I'm writing.
You're writing a book?
I'm writing a book just to make some money. Writing a book to like really to open up hopefully it like opens up a door and like I start getting money, because getting a job, like without a job, like as long as I have, and like just like trying to get a job, like as long as I have. Sorry. What was the question you asked me?
Is there any kind of advice or coping mechanisms that you found that help you personally, or some of the people that you're in contact with when it comes to mental health?
I do find like when I isolate myself is when I feel the worst usually. So like I wasn't feeling well tonight, so I asked if he wanted to come on a walk with me, so we went out, and like I wasn't just sitting in my room feeling these things alone, and I had somebody to talk talk about other things to distract me, and not just distract me, but, you know, get me out of the echo chamber in my head telling me not so great things.
I'm curious to know if you have any advice for people that might be suffering with that, and maybe you can add some perspective to them that might help them kind of get to the other side.
Yeah, I think you should definitely know that there is nothing wrong with you, and always be yourself, and it's just your life and you're living it. And whatever you experience and you say it's for yourself, no one else can experience the problems. They can have empathy for you, but no one else can experience the problems for you. So just live life to the fullest and be yourself always. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Yes, every person has opinions, even if you don't ask for it, but you should always be yourself and just rock with it, to be honest. Always. It's a short life, and time flies. The year's going to end in 2 months, and we didn't even realize. So always, just a short life, always enjoy.
I don't know. It's a man, maybe a man. It's a man, so like men have more to deal with than a woman. Men have more to deal with than women. Like a woman, I don't know. Like a man, like I don't know. I mean, he has more shit to do. Like I guess the world hates men. Like a woman could get a job like easily. A man has to like, cause of his muscles, right? The boss might feel intimidated and like not hire the guy because he's a man or like just subconsciously or something.
In the weird instance, like I'm thinking worst case scenario, what would it take for you personally to have the thoughts that would make you think that that is the only option that you have? That the only way out is to end it?
People who are living in severe, debilitating, chronic pain.
They understood the experience.
Yeah, right? Like the Lou Gehrig's disease or other diseases where there is no recovery, there is no medicine, there is no relief. Medically, physically, or mentally, physically, you're in a horrible situation. Should you choose to live? That's your choice. Should you choose to no longer live, and you and your family support that decision? That feels like a very personal choice.
I agree, and it's interesting because I live by a quote. The quote that I live by is that the only thing in life you have to do is die, and everything else is a choice. And I mean that. Like, literally everything in life is a choice. My dad told me that. It helped me through a lot of my life, actually. And I do...
It is the only fate that we share.
Yeah.
Like, all of us as humans.
It's the only thing that you have to go through.
Right? Our human condition is fatal. Like, it's the only thing we all will do. Yeah. Regardless of your circumstances, where you're born, what circumstances you're born under, we all will die. That is inevitable. There is no relief from that. The question is what you do in the in-between period.
Exactly. Thanks, man. Yeah. I appreciate your time. Do you mind signing the table?
Sign on the table? Okay, no problem.
Anywhere.
Just sign anywhere?
Yeah.
All right. That's a shit signature.
Thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you.
I don't know about you, but the entire Asia works for the entire family. Like, if I'm a male, I work for my family. I just don't work for myself. So, let's say I earn like $1 lakh for a year. That's not for me. That gets divided by 4. If I don't commit suicide, what do I do? You tell me.
Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out is what gets you to the point that is your only answer? Like, why is it that in society and all across the world, we put the weight of the world on men?
Love. Love is the answer.
Boom. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see the full uncut versions of all of the episodes, you can always check them out on Patreon at 6 Feet Apart Podcast.
I hate it here.